everybody, and welcome to the Talks a Lot Boys. I'm your host. My name is Tyler, and I am joined, as always, by the boys. We've got Brennan.
Well, what's going on, folks?
And we've got Kyle.
Hello.
It's been a hot minute since we dropped a review, since we dropped anything at all, honestly. But we're back now because Veil of Maya has graced us with their brand new record, Mother, M in parentheses, M in brackets. It's a decent album. I enjoyed it. I know we're a little late to this bandwagon. We've been busy boys, but we're, better late than never. We're gonna review it today. Hope you enjoy. But yeah, I thought this album was on par, I think, with the last two records they put out. Those are the only other albums I've listened to from Veil of Maya because I am a new age fake fan. But
you're a normie.
I think that the album, there's some songs that I think are spectacular, and there are other songs that I think are just good. Aren't really any bad songs on the record, in my opinion. Just some songs that don't really impress me as much as others. But that's just my general thoughts. Brendan, I know that you had told me prior to recording that you thought that the last two albums were far superior to this. So tell us a little about that.
Yeah, I mean, to me, Matriarch is their peak. Matriarch was just, when it came out, it just blew everybody's mind because that was the first album with Lucas. Because before that, they were more of just kind of a genty, no cleans, just bring the fucking edge all the time, which was pretty dope. But then Lucas coming with Matriarch opened up a whole new realm of possibilities for Veil of Maya. And that whole album is just juicy riffs, excellent choruses, breakdowns galore. And then False Idol, I think, comes in a step below that. Kind of hard to come up to match Matriarch, but I think False Idol, you had Pool Spray, Whistleblower, Echo Chamber. For some reason, other songs aren't coming to me, but from top to bottom, one of the best gentier metalcore albums. And honestly, 2017 was a fucking stacked year for albums, for metalcore as a genre. And even then, Veil of Maya put themselves up amongst the top with False Idol. And for me, this album doesn't have the memorable tracks either of those two records have. It has songs I think they get pretty close. Songs I definitely think are bops that I would put on my Tasty Jams playlist. But the album as a whole, some spots kind of gets repetitive, gets a little too glitchcore for my taste. It's still pretty dope, but I don't know. I think there's other albums that have come out so far this year that are better. So still a solid release. I enjoy it for the most part.
Fair take. Kyle, what did you think about this record?
Well, I tell you what, if you're a fake fan of Veil of Maya, then I'm just a little schmuck in the corner. I don't listen to much Veil of Maya. I'll dabble in a couple tracks here and there from each of the albums you guys mentioned as well, but I've never listened to a full Veil of Maya album top to bottom, honestly. But the couple banger ones that float out from the previous albums, I do really enjoy. And I feel that's probably how I'm gonna walk away from this album, honestly. There is a handful of tracks on this album that I really enjoy and I think do some really cool shit. And the other ones are good. And I think especially listening in this album top to bottom in a very secluded scenario, I think this album is very good because you get this really cool balance of all in cleans into a track with some more electronic-y synthwave stuff with cleans, and they kind of weave it all together in a really good digestible way. But overall, I think this whole album just has a lot of rippers, a lot of cool filler. And overall, it's just really creative. I love the shit they tried, that glitch core, what you were talking about, Brent. I think that's really cool in a couple areas. I think also gets a little repetitive sometimes, but in some spaces, it's really fucking cool, and I'm excited to get into it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, we're gonna do what we always do here on the show. We're gonna rank every song on this big, not so thick tune basket. We're gonna rank them all from worst to first. I'm gonna list off everything in the order it appears, and we're going to dive right into it. So, starting off, we have song number 1, Tokyo Chainsaw, which just makes me think of Chainsaw Man. It's not as good as Chainsaw Man, but nothing is, honestly.
Damn, nothing?
Very few things. Second up is Artificial Dose. Third is Godhead. Fourth is Reconnect. Fifth is Red Fur. Sixth is Disco Kill Party, which is my favorite name of a song for sure, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Next up is Mother Part 4, followed by Synthwave Vegan.
It's a good name.
That's also a very good name, yes. Then we got Lost Creator and Death Runner. So, are there any tracks that jump out as being, that was a big bug, as
That was
being,
I've been
as
in
being
this
the
room
worst track of the album?
for so long, and I have not seen this bug at all. But now it's like, oh, the camera's on. No. You know what song, like, unfortunately, doesn't do it for me when it stacks up on this album? Death Runner, the album ender. I had a lot of cool bits to it. There's a couple switch ups in there that I think were like really well executed as well. But this is where like they get like kind of creative and it kind of goes a little awry for me. Like the weird siren-y thing that happens in the background throughout this track. At first I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then it ended and I was like, okay, sure, we're moving on. And then it like kept on kind of getting spliced in throughout the track. And I was like, I don't know, that's just not as pleasing as some of the other like sampled-esque things that they do in the other tracks in the album. Does go some cool places though, like the 220-ish mark, we get like real fucking weird and ethereal. But then like it fades out at the end, and then other than that, I mean, like there's not a lot of peaks to this song. Like even the other like fully unclean tracks, they're like some really high peaks, and this one never really peaks for me. So,
fair. Brennan, what do you think about Death Runner?
I kind of forgive it since it is the album ender, but it does fade out.
That's fucking right, it does.
Like, and like, I mean, we're gonna get on this album a little bit for being a little bit too repetitive. I mean, at the end of the day, like Veil of Maya, like Mark Okuda, I think his name is, like, or Okuba or something like that. The dude shreds on guitar, but like this is one of those songs where like they kind of have too much of it. They do kind of break it up with like the ethereal part Kyle was mentioning, like they kind of bring in like some string instruments just to kind of like throw a little wrench in the works. But like that being said, I don't know, for an album ender and even like for a song in general, like to me it doesn't really do a whole lot other than like break it the fuck down. But like for me, like a breakdown, like you need something to break down, and that's like the entire song pretty much. Mm-hmm. And then the fade at the end is kind of like it is the album ender, but it's like I wish I had done something like more like epic to like close it out, you know?
Exactly.
What I mean?
Like I know that I shit on fade outs all the time, but like specifically with the way this album had so many like crazy punchy endings to songs, like these crazy rhythmic switch ups where like they were all so like fucking like short, sweet, and like so precise to have this cool rhythm at the end. Very cool way that like the song ends and whole album, but it just kind of goes out. I'm just like, it could have been that precise thing that I love that Veil of Maya did this entire album, and then it was like, well, we'll just let it go. It's like,
they kind of fumbled the bag a little bit.
Yeah, I think my biggest issue with Death Runner is just that, like, by the time I've listened to every track on the album, like, I had heard them do just the pure heaviness the whole time. I had heard them do a lot of more interesting stuff. And to just kind of end it on a song that to me just sort of blends into the previous two songs. Like, I just felt like I was kind of like ready to move on at that point. So I didn't really take a lot of notes on it just because of its placement. I just had nothing left to say.
That's fair.
So I'm also kind of okay with throwing this at the bottom. I also had similar issues with the album opener, to be honest. I'm being real. Chainsaw Man, it is not. Tokyo Chainsaw is not quite a masterpiece. I think it's good. Again, I don't think there's any bad songs on this album, but it's chuggy as hell and does some interesting things, but ultimately, like, compared to a lot of other tracks on the album, it really doesn't do anything too crazy or too special. Even in the other tracks that are heavy the whole time, I think each of the other songs that do that outclass it, with the exception of, like, maybe Death Runner. That's my opinion.
I can agree personally. I mean, I think that your comment about like how it kind of blended into the last song Death Runner did, I think is why I like this song more, is because I hit play on this album and I'm hit with like these tasty chugs, these cool switch ups, these really interesting beat structures that are happening, especially in the last half of this track, which are like, that's basically all my notes for the song right there, by the way. It's like fresh and like, oh shit, here it comes. Like, this is the way that we're opening up. We're opening the pit up right now, and then it's gonna get crazy in the middle. And then we're ending with like a similar thing, but a little bit more lackluster. Like, its placement on the album helps it here, because I think they are pretty much in the same ballpark as well, as this and Death Runner. But because of that placement, I would agree. I like this one better, but maybe not more than this spot, like number 9, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, I know Mark Okuda, I know he said he was going to have some tracks that like reminded people of old Veil of Maya. And I think that's why we do have a lot of like just fucking shred fest breakdown tracks on this record. But that being said, I think that the other tracks that do that are superior to Tokyo Chainsaw and Death Runner. So I feel like 9's pretty good for this track.
Cool. Yeah,
So,
I completely agree.
Back to OG Veil of Maya. Oh my god.
The stuff I never listened to.
Although they had some pretty killer ass tracks back in the day. Like the Common Man's Collapse. I think that was their first record. It was fucking pretty much this. The like 2008.
All right, so we have Death Runner locked in at 10. We have Tokyo Chainsaw locked in at 9.
Ooh.
What else do we want to be in the bottom half?
Brandon, you're a longtime fan. What you hate on this album?
I'm a long time fan. So like to me, this is where it gets tough, because you have like to me, like Godhead kind of enters the conversation.
Definitely.
I mean, maybe you could throw in Lost Creator, although I like fuck, I like Lost Creator though.
I do too. I personally think Godhead is next.
I think so as well. I can't
Lost
bring
Creator right above it.
Yeah, I can't bring myself to put Lost Creator beneath Godhead, but I can't really make myself put it much higher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there's some other tracks on here that are just absolute rippers. I don't know. Do you want to talk about Godhead then? I feel like that's the choice that makes the most sense to be 8.
Let's talk about it.
I mean, to me, it's just kind of like. To me, it's just kind of like another up-tempo, like, can we fit 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag? Like, not even saying it's shit, but like, just packing as much like craziness into, a track as possible.
Yeah.
I do like the one breakdown. Like, they do kind of like slow things down for a bit, but then like right after that, it's just like, all right, fucking back up to 11, let's go.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the track in microcosm. But I feel like it's more like technically gifted than Tokyo Chainsaw and Death Runner, though.
Absolutely is. I think like where I said that the other 2 tracks didn't really have like super high highs and peaks, this one has like clear peaks for me still. It still like kind of like lands in a little bit of a repetitive territory, but they're like doing these cool things in here, like these little added things that I think make it stand out. Like around like the 1 minute mark, we have like this switch and breakdown where like right out of it you get like these low gutturals and like these high uncleans.
Have the exact same note. It's exactly what I wanted to talk about.
Awesome. And it's kind of sprinkled in throughout the rest of the track as well, but like right there is when the first time it hits and you're just like, ooh, okay. And like, they're really thinking about it. They're really like having a little dynamicness to this heavier track. And then right out of that, the drums go absolutely fucking ballistic. I loved the drum work in this track specifically. And then right around like the like out of that, around the 150 mark, it's got like this cool like glitched style thing going on that like kind of runs through the rest of the track, where like even the guitars will do like this like purposeful rhythm to like simulate like a record scratch almost. And like it's like these cool little added things. And sometimes it is like an electronic added thing, and then sometimes it's a guitar doing it. And I was like, that's really fucking cool. I think like it makes it stand out amongst this album. And that's what I need when some of these tracks are just a wall of heavy. And I just love it. It's super cool. Some of the full stop shit in the last half of the track is so cool as well. So I don't know, really cool track. I really fucking love this track.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with everything you said. I think that like also the only other like point that I feel like is worth mentioning, it like around like 250, there's this guttural that's like so low that it just sounds like feedback, like hissing through like the speakers.
Yep.
And I was like, that's pretty nuts. That's pretty cool. No, but I think Godhead is like a perfect example of I've thought this ever since I started listening to Veil of Maya. I like the variety in their uncleans. I like how they have gutturals and like some of the higher pitched stuff, and then they have like some like in betweens and then they have the unclean or the cleans mixed into some tracks too. Like they really just have so much vocal variety, and they can try so many different things and so many different levels. And I've always thought that was really cool, and I think this song is a prime example of that. Unfortunately, I do feel like this has to be 8. Because I can't see it being above any of these other songs, personally.
Cool.
Let's talk about Lost Creator, because I definitely could see it being in the conversation as well.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, the more I listen to it, though.
Well, Brennan, is there another song that you would want to be beneath Lost Creator?
This might sound sacrilegious, but Synthwave Vegan. So, because like, all right, so if I were to compare these two tracks, all right, Lost Creator, like I know we get on bands about like changing shit up, all the time. But Lost Creator with like the blast beats and like just the sheer like shreddy riffs like going on top of that, like mixed in with like gutturals and highs. This is like the closest they get to like deathcore. And to me it's like so sick because and deathcore, I mean, that's a whole other can of worms. A lot of it sounds really similar. But like hearing like the technical precision of Mark Okuda, it might be Okubo, I'm sorry if I keep butchering your fucking name. Like just hearing like his technical proficiency like over that, and then like lumped in with some breakdowns, and like even like during the breakdowns you hear like some like it obviously has like effects on it, but there's like a pretty wild fucking lick going on in the background, like wow, it's just fucking like chuggy chug chug. And it's just like, to me, like Lost Creator is like the closest this band has ever gotten to just deathcore, and to me it's like so fucking sick. While Synthwave Vegan, to me it's just kind of another Veil of Maya metalcore track. Like to me, like, I'm not saying it's bad, I'm not trying to trash it, but to me it does a lot of the stuff that like Tokyo Chainsaw did, does a lot of stuff Godhead did. Like it just kind of sounds like I don't want to say generic, but like your Veil of Maya metalcore track. While like Lost Creator brings like this whole new fucking dynamic of like blast beats and fucking chaos, and the gutturals and the highs like mixed with like chugs and licks and riffs. Like it's just, to me it's like one of the top, if not the top, like just breakdown song out of like this whole record.
That is totally fair. Before we move on, I do have confirmation. It is Mark Okubo.
Okay, Mark
Okuda is a sushi chef.
Okay. I don't know shit about sushi.
We have that cleared up.
Mark Okubo. My apologies.
I thought it was Okubo, but I wasn't sure, so I wanted to look it up.
If you're watching this, my apologies. Huge work, obviously.
And if Okuda is watching, I love sushi.
Yeah.
Can I have some sushi?
Yeah, hook your brother up. Like Talks Lot Boys platter.
Ooh, a Talks Lot Boys roll?
Oh shit.
I'll take it. No, I totally agree with you there, Brennan. I think like these two tracks like next to each other is a really interesting comparison. Because like with Lost Creator, like you said, you get like these heavy, like the blast beats and everything you're saying, and like they're getting like to the point where they're getting like so heavy that they're hitting like a different like kind of technical. If you understand what I'm saying, like you've got like these crazy transitions that are all so fucking thick and heavy, like these like heavy metalcore things like bands do. That it's just wild to me. And then on the other side of it, you got Synthwave Vegan, where they're doing like this, like kind of a standard, heavier Veil of Maya track, but like it's got these cool distortion-y, like electronic things layered in that I think are so fucking cool. And it's the reason why I keep coming back to this track, even like when it was a single that it came out. I've just been listening to it, just intermixed in my listenings. So I don't know. I'm actually quite torn between these two because I love them both for very different reasons. And I think I appreciate both of those reasons a lot.
That is fair.
Damn.
I feel like I agree with Brennan as much as I like Synthwave Vegan. Because that song is just nuts. Like,
Yeah.
That song is just a handful of cashews. Like it's just so much. So
salted peanuts everywhere.
But I do think you bring up a lot of good points. I think Lost Creator deserves to be above Synthwave Vegan for the reasons you stated. So I'm gonna side with you on that one. I guess we're gonna lock those in then. So that would be Synthwave Vegan at 7 and Lost Creator at 6.
Is that right? Are we already top 5?
Damn.
Or are we
7.
Were they 8 and 7?
6. No, Lost Creator would be 6. Yeah. But we
Okay, cool.
I'm cool
hot
with
damn.
that. Yeah.
Hot damn.
Well, of the ones left, I feel like there is a definitive top 3.
Ooh.
Is there?
Ooh.
I think there is, and I want to test that theory out right now by doing a round
Oh,
of.
brother.
Can I go first?
Yes.
Reconnect.
Yes. Thank
Oh,
you.
fuck yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank God.
Yes.
Yes.
Jesus, thank you. Brendan.
There's like a there's
Oh,
their top.
fuck. See, Reconnect is going to be my fucking dark horse.
It's a very bright. It's actually like it's like a leading. It's a very fast horse actually.
Yeah.
Clearly in the lead. Of everything.
That's what I thought the whole time actually.
Well, because to me, the obvious choice was Red Fur.
That's another good choice.
A good
Yeah.
That's another very
choice.
good choice. That is a thing I
Very-
think you should stick with. I
I'm
think
sticking with it. Those are my guns.
Interesting.
If Red Fur was picked, I was going to pick Reconnect, and then I didn't have a third. But
my third is Disco Kill Party.
Ooh.
I think those three, that little sandwich right in the middle of the album, I think that is the peak of the album. Just a little nice slice.
I'd go a little bit farther and I'd knock
Ooh.
it down one more track personally. I'd say that is my 4-song sandwich. Personally, that's why I'm just saying we don't have to agree. I just think Mother was pretty epic.
Mother
Fourth-
Part
Mother's
4
Mother
fucking
Part 4.
rips, dude.
It is that is also very good.
It's
also.
a different
is-
track. Like that song kind of stands alone on this album for me. It is it rips past 5 minutes, which is awesome. It also has like it's the most like journey of a track that you get on this album. Like you're strapping in, fucking hands and legs aside the ride at all times, baby. It's about to get wild with this mama. It's good. It's really good.
Yeah, Mother Part 4 is also like that's another one that I'm like, if this needs to be high. This needs to be high up there. I think that means that no matter what, Artificial Dose is next.
Yes.
Is that
That is the odd answer.
Yes.
And it's not, I really like Artificial Dose. Like I
Me too.
really like. I think it's a really strong song, especially because it is like the first, like, I think I had it in my notes. I just wasn't scrolling to it. Yeah, like it's just like a really satisfying like hit. Like after you got Tokyo Chainsaw Man, and you're like given like this really cool killer like heavy opener. you get pushed into this more electronic kind of like pulsing feeling right away, and then you're like, oh, okay, here's that like electronic synth wavy feeling we've got throughout this whole album, like really infused right into this track. And you're hit with like a really solid like chorus. I think like that unclean chorus is like I don't think it's the best on the album, but I think it's like really strong and a really great choice to have here in like an album structure. I don't know, and I think that like there's like this cool like kind of play back and forth in the headphones sometimes with like some of like the beats as well that I really enjoy. And this cool like use of like distortion on the vocals, or like at the beginning it's a little bit more like kind of distant, and then like as the song progresses he's brought to the forefront, and then like so it gives like this kind of like cone effect of the song as well that I really enjoy. I don't know, man, it's just the song's really fucking good. What do you guys think of it?
Yeah. I have one minor gripe with this song. I agree with everything you said. You said. My one minor gripe is just that like the transition between like the heavy intro and like the first chorus is like very abrupt. Like
right on the fucking head, dude.
Minimal effort was put into like weaving those two parts together. It is very much just like they are doing heavy shit, they stop, and then it's like a new song.
I will never let go.
And I love the chorus. I think the chorus rips, and I like this song in general. That's just like the one part where I was like, I feel like they could have transitioned that smoother. And they do, like later in the song, like 140-ish, they do like a much better blend between the two. And I think like as the song progresses, it like becomes a more like full composition, but just like that very first transition is just like so abrupt, and it just like pulls me out of it. But other than that, I think that this is a great song. I couldn't put this below anything else we've already locked in.
I agree with that. To me, like, fuck. I'm not. Like, I think it's a good chorus, but I don't think it's a great chorus. Like, it definitely sounds... I hate using these terms, but it kind of sounds a little generic to me. And Tyler, like, you hit the nail right on the head. For the first chorus of the album, right? Like, you go from Tokyo Chainsaw, which is just brutality, and then like the songs kind of like gel into one another as far as like the ending of Tokyo to Artificial, which I really dug. I mean, it's very, very, very minute, very like, you know, subtle. But like for it to just be like we're kind of breaking it down, like we're getting to it, and all of a sudden hard cut, I will never let go. It's just like, oh fuck, like they could have done a little better. And even like you said, like at the end of the song, like the second chorus does feel a lot more like natural and organic. Like the song like naturally arrived at this part, you know. And that's my big gripe. I don't have that really with any of these other tracks. So for me, it kind of defaults at 5.
That's fair. I think it does like everything. Like it does everything pretty well, and nothing insanely great. Like it's like a good thing to have like right in the middle of this album. It's just really solid at what it does. Maybe like some shortcomings. I also like that like in the last like 10 seconds of the song, like the Uncleans literally say like it's over now, and I was like, oh cool, thanks.
Thanks for letting me know, dude.
Thanks, cool. Now we're on. What's next? What's going on? Oh, go ahead. Cool.
I think this is the perfect spot to be like right in the middle.
I agree.
Now we're on to, I guess, the debate between Mother Part 4 and Disco Kill Party for number 3. We know where I'm leaning, but I also very much enjoy Mother Part 4. So if there's an argument to be made, I'm here to be swayed.
It's tough to make an argument for Mother Part 4 to crack the top 3 on this album. Mainly because I feel like this is the song that sounds the least like Veil of Maya, if it makes sense. Like it definitely like they're definitely like trying these like more like the word I had throughout anytime they do like these unclean things is ethereal. Like they have these really cool ethereal vocals, like layered all throughout. And like this is a great time to talk about too. I was gonna mention the last track, but any time in this album where like the heavy shit drops out, we've got the cleans and like these cool like fucking like effects around him. I don't know who's responsible for it, but the mix for all of those sections of this album are really, really good. I love the way that like the sounds around him are like highlighting like his voice. Like it's really well done. And I every time it like everything else dropped out, I was like, damn, this is clean. But I want to say like the thing in this track is like, when we come from an album, a track where like we didn't like a transition, the transitions in this track are otherworldly. They've got like these cool like electronically like that like just drop down, and then they come back out as like these crazy chuggy guitars, and I'm like, oh my god! Like they're just transforming as the song is going on. And I was like, this is so fucking cool. Like it, especially with like the fact that this whole album has been like the dabbling in like the electronics, like the fact that it's just like fully formed here near the middle of the album, like I guess a little bit latter half, you're getting like this cool, like we're not only doing electronic and then heavy and electronic, it's just the song is free flowing, morphing out in and out. Like it's so cool all the way through the whole 5 minutes of this track. It's so cool. I even love it's like around like the 2-minute-ish mark, I think. The drive of the song almost feels like this like sluggish heaviness. Like it kind of drags a little bit, like intentionally, and it feels really cool coming out of like these cool ethereal parts as well. And I don't know, they like throughout this whole song, like the weight of the pacing is like shifting in like this really cool, effortless way that I love. It's just so masterfully made. I fucking love this track. What do you guys think about Mother, the fourth?
Brandon.
Oh, dude, you are so right with everything. Like to me, this song is like to me, it's kind of like the band like realizing their untapped potential. Like, because like the transitions in it are so wild. Like, you'll get like, you know, the start of it's kind of like slow with like him kind of like singing in the background. And then it turns into a spot where like the drummer's gonna get fucking shin splints from hitting so many double basses and just chugs everywhere. Like just riffs and riffs on top of that. And then like to go from that to like another, like it slows down. It's like kind of like I don't know, I never know the term for this, but it's like kind of like a bassy, not like a house beat, but like kind of just like a bassy little bit that just kind of like eases them into like another round of like just fucking aggression. And then, hey, let's put this bitch. Okay, we're going from fifth gear to second real quick. And it's just like a solid chord progression. Like just how like it takes you into like so many different parts, and then how it transitions from those parts to other parts of like, let's slow it down, let's speed it up, let's slow it down, let's fucking take a break, let's fucking pick it back up. Like this track, I mean, to me, it's like Veil of Maya hung out with like DGD for a while. And it's just like fucking give us transitions and like, you know, how do we like split songs up? Like, I don't like. Fuck. I can't put it above Red Fur and Reconnect, but like to me, this is like what I want to hear from Veil of Maya. It's like the best way I could put it, because there's just so much going on, and like how they bring it to you and like the journey that the song takes you on, I think is fantastic. So yeah, I think the song fucking slaps, dude.
I agree with 100% of everything that both of you have said. There's not really much else to add. I just think the song is fucking epic. And I do think that, like, you know, like you said, there's some like DGD level like transitions and stuff. And I think that can be said of like all of these other songs that like we haven't talked about yet. I think that's Absolutely. Why one of the reasons why all of these songs like stood out so much is because the transition game and the layering and the variety is all just level compared to the rest of the album. Like it's what I wanted from the band. Yeah. Like they're capable of so much crazy shit. And And these are just primo examples of it.
They have like this like crazy amount of skill, like you mentioned, like the like variation and variety in their like in their all their vocal ability, like these crazy like range of uncleans, this incredible guy that can sing the cleans, like it's just awesome. And then like you see these technical fucking instrumentals going everywhere that like it feels like this amount of talent is begging to have these wildly creative like different like added effects and like these like creative decisions and crazy cool like transitions. And like this is like every like these top four for me, like you said, like they feel like they were just like, fuck it, I don't care that we've never like really like they're dabbling in some really fresh shit, and I love it. It's so cool.
Oh yeah.
And I will say, like, just the way this track ends, like just like it goes from like chaos, like for like just like one of those like, they go from like a soft kind of like more like ethereal beat to like boom, fucking put it in fifth gear. And then all of a sudden it's just like the synth part that like entered the song and just kind of fades from that. It's just like that's like the one time I approve a fade out, is just because like, they've ended it. Okay, we're on to the next song. Like,
yeah,
definitely. Like, to me, this track is chef's kiss. like this shit was crafted, dude.
Oh, absolutely. But I also think that Disco Kill Party is a different kind of artisanal, and that's why I want it to be just above Mother Part 4. I just think the song is like, not only is it like really well structured, it has like really great transitions, really great layering. It's also just like catchy as fuck, and it rips shit, and it just makes me feel the good brain juices flowing. Like it's a fucking good time. Like the second that this track starts, the intro riff is so tasty. It gives me at minimum a half chub every time I hear the song start. At minimum. That's the power of a good riff right there. It's like, I like how they kind of have it where it's like, it's kind of techno, but it's not. Like it's like a unique kind of like blend between like techno and metal. And it's just a really, really cool vibe that they're going for. I think once again, amazing chorus. I think like the clean vocals really balance out this track. It might be my favorite chorus on the album, even though I don't think that it's as good as the other two songs we haven't talked about. I just think it's really good. I think the instrumentals in general are just immaculate. They go all over the fucking place. They're mixed incredibly well. I think everything, like every note in this song is there for like a reason. Like, and it just so good. And they have moments where like they'll kind of strip it back a little bit. Like there's a specific moment like later in the song where they kind of like strip it all back to like just vocals, and then it builds back up into this like epic breakdown before going into the chorus again to like round out the song. I just think that this song is just perfectly executed in every way. And I really fuck with it. It's one that I put on repeat all the time, along with the other two songs. And while Mother Part 4 is immaculate in its own way, when I load up this album and when I am in the mood for Veil of Maya, I feel like I will almost usually gravitate toward this one over Mother Part 4.
No, for sure.
Ooh.
And I think that's why I'm also personally leaning towards Mother Part 4 being number 4. Because like as incredible as it is, and such a cool fucking like work of art as it is on its own, I love like Disco Kill Party for me. Like it has like this really cool like electronic beat to start off into like this really cool, like you were talking about, like this like combination of like electronic-y and heavier like kind of like choruses and like rhythm bits in there. And like cool thing about this track too is like it'll like totally lean off of one or the other and then like seamlessly invent the other one back into it. Like it'll just go full heavy for a second, it'll go full like synthy beat, and then it just comes together for the chorus or leaves it. And then like that part you talked about with like the exposed section, like they're doing these cool like weird percussive things and like all around him while he's doing to help it build back up that like are pretty unique to like anything else in the album at this point. And then that fucking breakdown like 2:15 where like you've got this wild heavy mix of like electronics and like full stop crazy. Woo, baby, that fucking got me going. Dude, I fuck with Disco Kill Party. Like this track is like this is like an iconic track from like this album specifically because of the way it does like the combination of styles. Like I think this one's gonna stand out for like this era of Veil of Maya going forward. If it's not even like the best one here, because I don't think it is, but it's great.
Agreed. Anything to add, Banana Bread?
Man, it is so good though. Like even like I'm a Mother Part 4 simp, but like Disco Kill Party, like it does have it all. Like just like the riff in the beginning. I love how it gets kind of like I love whenever like bands will have like a chug and a lick, chug, lick, chug, chug, lick. You know what I mean? Like they'll have like those chugs like while they're doing that. And like the whole like opener of this track is just like full of it for a minute. And then it gets even more intense. To me, probably my second favorite chorus in the album. We're gonna get to my favorite coming up. But it has everything, dude. Like once again, killer transitions. Like I love whenever bands like one of my main gripes with music, all right, is the time between the first chorus and the second chorus is like way too short. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, they have nothing going on, maybe like half-ass verse, boom, right back in the chorus. It's like, dude, that time right there is a fucking gold mine. Like if you could make something creative and like bring us something in that stretch of time, like that proves to me like you give a fuck. And like
right,
this track has that, Mother has that, Red Fur Reconnect, like they all kind of have that. And then obviously like the bridge, like after the second chorus to the third, like breakdown bridge, whatever the fuck. But like, man, this song does fucking rip. I love it. I would not be butthurt if it is above Mother Part 4.
Well, I think we are going to lock it in above Mother Part 4. Then that seems to be the way that we're leaning.
I'd like to float the idea out there that Disco Kill Party could go above 3. I'm gonna float that out there. I don't know where everyone else is thinking right now. I'm gonna float it because I love all three of these tracks.
I don't fucking know.
I'm just gonna put it out there.
That shit, and I don't know.
as we continue, just want to think about the possibility of it possibly getting to number 2. Maybe we'll see.
I mean, Reconnect has to be number 1, right? Like
that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
I feel like it's a clear choice.
That's what I thought when I listened.
See, like I prefer Red Fur, but like to me, like Disco Kill Party and Mother Part 4 are strong, but like Red Fur and Reconnect are overpowered. Like
I agree. I totally agree.
Like the tier list of Pokemon, like that's how I'd put that for sure.
Like I really don't think, as much as I love Disco Kill Party, I don't think I can put it above Red Fur.
Sell me on Red Fur then, because like, I think it's definitely deserving of top 3. Like, don't get me wrong, but I think that that really interesting, cool blend that Disco Kill Party brings for me is starting to maybe edge it out for me. So, what do you guys have to say about the Fur?
Brennan, you go first.
It's another track of like whenever I listen to it, you know, whenever we come to like these kinds of bands, you know, I just feel like they're putting out like a sample platter in front of me, and there's like so many different like tastes and varieties like going on in this song. Like I love how like you go from Reconnect, which is just, we'll get into that, but you go from that and it's like a soft opener, like you just have like a kind of a beat, like a little bit going on in the background, like Lucas like brings you into it, and then like just crank to 11 chaos, fucking like shred white and blue into like the first chorus. And then I love how after that, like they peel it back again, and it's just the drums with like very little going on with Lucas. Although I did just praise Disco Kill Party for making shit happen, but fucking gripe time. Okay. The time between the first chorus and the second chorus is a little short. I'll give it that. But like, to me, this is like the best chorus, and like they do a good job of like bringing so much like stuff like around it, even though the time between the first and second is short, which I just bitched about before. But like, I just love how like they strip it down, they bring you the chorus, they strip it down again, they bring you another chorus, then they strip it down, and then it's just boom, fucking like hit you with the haymaker, breakdowns, awesomeness. I love like the riff that kind of ends it, where once again you have like chug lick chug lick chug lick like during the final chorus. Like fuck, dude. Like, oh, like hold up. All right, so listen, like, cause I'm listening to this while I'm talking about it, but like at like the 2:35 mark, it just dumps like right into like the sickest lick, like while like the vocals are going in the background. Oh my dude, this shit just takes it like next level for me. Like this shit's overpowered.
Yeah, I had that exact moment in my notes too, like that exact fucking timestamp.
Oh fuck.
I also love like right out of that part too, like after you get to the end of like crazy lick with the vocals over top, you then get like this really awesome like push to the end in like the last like 40-ish seconds with like these crazy like echoey like kind of like vocal like it's all like hitting you all at once, like these like distorted-y vocally things around the main vocals, and like along with that are like the the instrumentals going crazy as well. Like I'm like that ending, that whole like last like minute of the song, the way that it just fucking like escalates and escalates until the very end is like, it feels good. It feels fucking awesome.
I mean, like Brennan said, like I think that Red Fur is just like a masterclass in building and deconstructing. And we all know that I'm a simp for that kind of shit. So it's no wonder that I hold this song in such high regard.
like to me, this song has like the perfect crescendo. Like everything, like, yeah, they sprinkle in craziness, they sprinkle in like deconstruction, but like from 2:35 to the end of the track, like that is like the one part of this entire album that like I'm guaranteed to get goosebumps. Like every time I hear it, it just fucking rips just as hard as the last time.
100%.
But yeah, like and that, I mean, am I putting way too much weight on one part compared to Disco Kill Party? Probably. But as Tyler said, and I'm in total agreement, like just the fact that like it builds, deconstructs, epic ending. Let's fucking close it out. Like that final chorus, like coming out of that part with like the sick break, like the sick like chug lick, going into like the funky like kind of background vocal like robotic shit going on. Like, man, it fucking hits so hard. And that's why for me this has to be number 2.
Yeah. And I love how like in the first minute alone you get hit with like every possible avenue that the song is going to take.
Yes.
Like, you get the stripped back shit, you get the super in your face like fucking let's go to the pit, then you go into like the soaring ass vocals, and then you're just back in it again. Like you get all that within the first like 50 seconds of the song, and then it just takes that and like evolves it from there. Like it's so good, man. Like this has to be 2.
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling it the more you guys are talking about, especially the way like it's just like the overall building, and like you're like, just listen to this part. I turned it all the way up and I was like, ooh, yeah.
It's so fucking tasty.
But I think like the cool thing about this
sorry.
it's all good. The part about this song that I really like is that like it feels like the song that's gonna play right at the end of the movie as the credits roll. Like it's very like victorious in the way that it all fucking like boom, and like you just like feel like this impact, like arms are open, like yeah, this is it. Like it even like at like just after the minute mark, it hits you with like the Inception boom to like really give you the depth of the track. Like
yes.
I was just like, oh my god, oh, we're really setting the tone. We're dropping the Inception boom. All right, let's go. We ran with it. So I'm a big fan of this track. So I'm down. I think the overall construction and building of this track can edge out the Disco Kill Party just overall. Combination of styles.
Oh yeah.
I'm down for that.
And Reconnect has to be number one.
I agree. 100% agree. It's so good.
I can't fathom how good this song is. It might be, on a technical level, the best song Veil of Maya has ever written. Even though, like, Mika Stan song and the anime, but, like, in this case, the song. And that's, like, the best song they've ever written. But, like, this, on a technical level, you could argue that Reconnect is better, you know.
This is the first song that I have heard from them since that song that gave me that energy. Like, and that's not to shit on the rest of their music. But that's not to me. Right. Because like I fucking rip with Mikasa. And like, you know, a lot of things have gotten close to me from the things that I've heard. Granted, I have not listened to everything, so maybe I'm just missing out. But because I'm a fake person. But this song, like it opened, I was like, we're in for a fucking just a treat. This is not only a treat. We're at the bakery and they're like, one free sample of a treat. Take one of everything and try them all. I'm like, oh my God, this is an epic treat.
It's like you go to the buffet and they're like, take a scoop of everything. And it's all the things there are things that you like. And then the second that you get them all on your plate, you're fucking like your feet sweep out from underneath you and you were launched into like a roller coaster made of light. And you are just shot around the stratosphere while the food is being just absorbed into your body through osmosis, and it somehow tastes better than it would if you were eating it like a normal human being. This shit's spiritual, man. This shit is like they've reinvented music, kind of, and it's very good. And it's exactly what I didn't know that they were capable of it fully, and experiencing it, like. My thumbs were typing so fast compared to all the other songs with how many notes I had to take. I had to listen to the song like 2 times in a row just to get all the notes in because it's just such a fucking good song. It's a grand old time. I haven't used the roller coaster analogy once in this review, but I will use it here.
Yes.
Because
100%.
They deliver on it. They throw you in the car, they shove the bar down, and they ship you off to roller coaster land, roller coaster tycoon, and you're having a fantastic fucking time.
Oh shit! When do we get to the ride? This is the ride. Oh shit!
I think it's the first like intro riff on the album, like in the order the songs come up. It's the first one that slaps to like an unhealthy degree. Like shit's addictive. It knocked my socks off. I had to go get them from across the room. Blast beat Central Station. Good Lord. We're going right from that intro into just, like Brendan said earlier, my man definitely got shin splints from some of the shit that he did on this album. It's crazy. The song just goes all over the place. It goes from fucking sheer brutality to this like ethereal, beautiful chorus that we get different aspects of on different songs in this album, which we've talked about before. And this has like the perfect blend of the two sides. They do the full spectrum here, and they interweave both ends of that so seamlessly and so creatively, and they get you to and from both places. They intermix them. It's just the perfect weaving of these two elements, and I don't know, man. It's just a good time. It's just a really fucking good song.
You finished talking about it right as the song ended for me as I was listening to it, and that was really incredible.
Good.
And to kind of pick up where you left off too, because I think the thing that really hits me, because like this song, it like, you know, like you mentioned, it has the incredible guitar riff right off the bat that is just like the most like I'm gonna get diabetes just from listening to that first like 20 seconds. It's unhealthy.
It's too sweet.
It's too
that riff
sweet.
makes my blood thicker.
Yes. And then like they're like not afraid to just immediately hit you with like the drums that fucking immediately come in, keep the pace going. You get the cleans coming in. And if I'm not, the cleans are back. It was like the second time you get the cleans in the album, so you're just like, where are they? There they are. And I even put like, the cleans are back. And I love it because like they have like these awesome effects that accent the vocals, like I mentioned prior. You've got like this, like overall, this whole track for me, like you've got these incredible moments spliced in of the guitars like just dancing around either the clean vocals or like these like heavy unclean vocals. And then near the end, it even has like the chug, like the really fucking heavy drums in that last minute right before the ethereal ending. You've got like this incredible guitar, like these crazy guitar runs that are just like full stopped by these really like powerful drums into like this crazy awesome synthwave ending where the guitar like hooks over and added effects are added on. It's still going off. It's just having a good time. He's just like, I'm gonna keep going. They're like, no, we went to the synth part. And they're like, no, listen, it's gonna be cool. And then he just kept going. I was like, that's a good choice. I'm glad he didn't listen. They probably planned it. They're smart. But no, I don't know. This song makes me feel good. Thanks, Veil of Maya.
Yes.
Oh, man. This song is just Mark Akuba fucking showing off. Like straight up. Like I remember the first time listening to this, like from front to back, hearing that opening riff, like my jaw was on the fucking floor. And like it's just chug, crazy run, chug, crazy run, chug, crazy run. Like just like the whole fucking track. And then I love how like they get like sludgy with it, like in some breakdowns. It's just like, whoa, fucking slow it down. Like I need to go crowd kill somebody. Like holy shit. Like, and I love it because it's just so much variety and so much like it has everything. I mean, I know like this whole 4-song stretch from Reconnect to Mother Part 4 has like everything, but like I'm bummed that like Reconnect comes first. like to me, like if like everything got bumped up and Reconnect got moved down to 7, like that would be fucking perfect. Because it's just like, let's just hit you with some craziness, let's finish it, and then I guess if you want to end the album, just brutal, send it. But like,
yeah,
man, that was this song is, like I said, this song is overpowered.
Absolutely
busted as fuck.
It's a really good way to explain it. This is like the most OP song. They just didn't test this before release. They're just like, oh shit, shit, it's too good.
The balancing department needs fired like immediately.
Like day one patch, please hit me with it. I need it.
Day one balancing patch is like 60 gigs.
Phone won't run album without day one patch. Please help. Mother.exe is stop playing.
Oh man, no. They're just waiting on DLC.
Well, I guess that does it then. We've ranked M in brackets other. We've done it. It's done.
Wow.
You're welcome, world.
Wow.
We're gonna recap real quick, and then we're gonna head on out. And maybe see you in like a week, and maybe see you in like a month. We don't know. We'll see. Anyway, here is the results. At number 10, we have Death Runner. Number 9, Tokyo Chainsaw. Number 8, Godhead. Number 7, Synthwave Vegan. Number 6, Lost Creator. Number 5, Artificial Dose. Number 4, Mother Part 4. Number 3, Disco Kill Party. Number 2, Red Fur. And number 1, unquestionably, is Reconnect. We hope that you enjoyed this little old review. We had a great time making it. If you are not subscribed to the Talks a Lot Boys, you can do that. It could be a cool thing that you could decide to do. You can just go down there and click that little subscribe button. We passed 500 recently. That was a pretty cool thing that happened. So thanks to everyone who got us to this milestone. And if you want to help us get to the next one, being 22 billion, then you can help us reach that goal. We're only a little bit off. You can go down there and click that subscribe button. Make sure you like this video if you did like it. And as always, make sure to comment below what your personal ranking of Mother by Veil of Maya is, because we love hearing everyone's takes, even if they are quite terrible in comparison to our own. But that's going to do it for us today. We have been the Talks a Lot Boys, and we will talk a whole lot more next time. See you later. Thank you.
Bye.